on the 26th of October. That's the 26th of October at 7 p.m. We're going to be watching Garth Taylor performing live at Traders in Menlyn. You can be part of the Tom London Show table by emailing thetomlondonshow@gmail.com. Send me an email to thetomlondonshow@gmail.com and we'll get the process started. And before you can say The Tom London Show, you'll be enjoying a live performance from Garth Taylor and his band and sitting with your friends and family from the show. I got the Monday blues. I got the Monday blues. Why have I got the Monday blues? Because I woke up early and I went to work, and I've been working the whole of Monday, sir. Working left and working right, working up and working down, working myself all over town. I'm telling you, I've been working. I wanted to say we're coming to you live tonight, but I'm coming to you half alive tonight. Hey, how's it? Welcome to the Tom London Show, wherever you find yourself in South Africa, the beautiful, sunny South Africa, or anywhere else in the world that you may be watching the show. Thank you for joining me. You and me, you and I and you, I and me. We're going to be together, not forever, for the next hour on the show. You see, I've already flattened 3/4 of a bottle of Coke, man. Oh, man. Tonight we're doing Q&As. Get ready, I got some questions for you. We'll be taking your participation, or as a former president would say, listen carefully, taking your participation. We'll start in the beginning with our very first comment on the show. Your participation in the comment section will also be taking your voice notes and calls on the show tonight. Gaynor Schulenberg says, hello, Tom and everyone. Well, hello, Gaynor, how you doing? I hope you're doing fine. It's nice to have you in the comment section, but even better on the telephone line. Cheryl Wehan is on board. Cheryl says, good evening all. Down in Cape Town you'll find Patricia Scholz, and Patricia says, hi everyone. Wendy Mechanic says, hello Patsy and hello Tom. She's joined by Sarah Key, says, good evening all. Carlos Hartwell, did I say Carlos? Carlos Hartwell says, hi everybody and Tom. It's nice to see everybody saying hello to each other. That's what the comment section's for. Wendy Mechanic says, Mondays suck. Remember in the old days you used to say, it sucks eggs. Mondays suck eggs. Thank goodness for Coca-Cola. Caffeine. A little bit of pseudoephedrine and some caffeine. That gets things going. Mrs. Belford is on board and says, hiya all. We'll just do a couple of hellos quickly and then we'll start chatting. Robert Bruce Naismith is on board. Evening all, says Robert. Robert, is it the 16th? No, you can't be serious. Is it the 16th? Is today the 16th of October? No. And I tell you why no, because I've missed Mrs. Belford's birthday, which was on the 15th, and I thought it wasn't the 15th yet. And I'm not joking. I'm being absolutely serious. I thought we're still heading towards the 15th. So firstly, an apology to Mrs. Belford, because I had it in my head that I need to wish Mrs. Belford a happy birthday on the 15th, and I messed up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mrs. Belford. And I don't know how to make it up to you. Happy birthday. Could I sing for you? Could we all sing? This is a bit strange, right? But I think this would be nice. Mrs. Belford's birthday was yesterday. I remember that it was on the 15th, and as I looked down and saw 16th now, I had a mild heart attack and realized I'd missed it, and my blood ran cold. So I'm going to sing Happy Birthday, Mrs. Belford. And wherever you are, you can just join me in your lounge. She won't hear you, but if our voices combine in spirit, perhaps it will have a good impression on Mrs. Belford. All right? So here we go. Join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. Belford. Happy birthday to you. Feels geluk, lieve Maaike, omdat jy verjaar. Mag die Here jou seën en nog baie jare spaar. I don't do that often, and I only do it for extremely special people. Happy birthday, Mrs. Belford. All right, Rob's on board. Lil Cook says, not this Monday, Winnie Mechanic. Bokke did us proud last night. Hey, Bokke! Bokke, Bokke, Bokke! It looked like they were going to lose, and the whole country was about to go into depression. The economy was about to take a dive, and the next thing you know, the Bokke win by 1 point. Slat hom! Slat hulle! Vat hom Fluffy! Ja, die Bokke het gegooi! Die Bokke gaan hierdie wedstrijd wen. Die wêreldbeker, né? Yeah, I'm so proud of the Boks. They won. Did I watch the game? No. How do I know all of this? Because wherever I went around in South Africa today, wherever I was, people were going, hey, I can't believe what the Bokke did last night. 1 point, 1 point, man. We won. Looked like we were going to lose, but yeah. But we gooit millies. And the next thing you know, kaboom! The Irish in the moor. Go Bokke, says Alistair Jameson. Yeah, if you want to write Go Bokke in the comment section, you can go mental writing Go Bokke, no problem. When he says that's true, bless them to win the World Cup again. Go the Bokke, says Mrs. Belford. Who else we got on board tonight? Barry Bowditch. I think the Boks will beat France by 1 point. Nice one, Barry. Shocking, Thomas. Missing. I know. I'm sorry, Mrs. B. I actually didn't. I thought the 15th was coming up this week. Me and dates are terrible. I did sing Pepsi's Blasphemy. Blasphemy. We've had blasphemy on the show. Hold on a moment. Hold on. Blasphemy. 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 I'm about to press the ban button. He used the P word. Graham McNally. How can you do that to my nerves, man? Also missed my birthday, says Robert, 21st of August. Happy birthday, Rob. I'm not singing happy birthday twice on the show. I mean, come on. Cheryl said she was singing. Oh no, terrible, stop, Thomas. Really? Is that the thank you I get for singing happy birthday? You can't be serious. How's it from Primrose? Primrose represented tonight. Benjamin Jones is on board. Tammy Singh, did you hear me say Tammy? Tammy Singh, says Val Landau. Is everyone having a birthday? You're just climbing on the birthday train today. Carla says, so great to see so many people from the Daily Dose of Happiness. This is your daily night of happiness. No more lonely nights on the Tom London Show. Did you see the intro to the show? If you didn't, let me just put the slide on screen quickly. We're doing something really cool on the 26th of October. Just diarize that date. It's the 26th of October. You can join the Tom London Show table at Traders Times Square Casino. Gar Taylor will be performing live. I'll be arriving there about 7 o'clock to meet my friends, and you could be at the table with me. What will we do at that table? I'll tell you what we're going to do at the table, right? We are going to, firstly, we're going to get some beverages. I will mix whatever I'm drinking with Coca-Cola, you can be sure. It may be J&B or Bell's, I'm not sure. But definitely mixed with mother's milk. And you can have whatever you like to drink, right? Traders has got a really, really cool bar and menu, so it's all on offer. And we are going to chat. We are going to laugh. We are going to joke. We're not going to take life seriously for a night. We are just going to have some fun. That's what we're going to do. We are going to go to Traders, and we are going to have the loudest, liveliest, happiest table in the venue. And people will turn around and say, who are those people? And someone will say, that's the Tom London Show table. Didn't you know those people are too school for cool? That's why they arrived here tonight. Didn't you know that those are the committed viewers and participants and friends of the Tom London Show? Didn't you know they made their way to Pretoria and they got their favorite drink and they're sitting next to their favorite people and they're having their favorite conversations and they're about to watch their favorite musician sing his favorite songs? Are we going to be entertained? Are we going to go whoop whoop? And we're going to have a blast. So, if you would like to be part of this, if you'd like to come along and sit at the table, join me at the table, join your other friends who are going to come along and be at the Garth Taylor Performance at Traders 26 October. Send me an email, send it to the Tom London Show at gmail.com. It's as simple as that, the Tom London Show at gmail.com. Send the email now. Get into the front of the queue because it's only one table. I'm not doing 10 tables. I'm not taking over half the venue. I'm doing one table. It's an exclusive table. It's exclusive because you're going to be there. And we are going to sit and have a ball. So if you'd like to join the party, make sure you email the Tom London Show at gmail.com. We'll get into a conversation. I'll give you all the details. We'll do the transaction, and then I'll see you on the 26th. If you want to know how much the tickets are, they're 150 Rand per person, and perhaps I'll buy you a drink. Would that entice you? If I said, I'll buy you a drink, I will buy you a drink of your choice. How's that? There's my deal, right? I'll buy you a drink of your choice. Come along to the table. Come and sit with friends. Come and sit with me. Let's have a laugh. Let's not take life seriously for a night. And let's have fun at the Garth Taylor Performance. He's going to be performing all his old hits plus new songs from the new album. I've seen the show. It is fantastic. It's a sound and light extravaganza, and it's going to be amazing. So I'd love to have you there. As I say, it's tickets for the show are not limited. You can go to Web Tickets and book a ticket. If you want to sit at your own table, that's fine. I won't talk to you. I'll just ignore you the whole night because you're not at my table. But if you get in fast enough and email the Tom London Show at gmail.com, I'll organize a seat at the table for you. And so, yeah, it's just one table. And they're going to be very special people there. I hope you will be too. The Tom London Show at gmail.com, 150 Rand per ticket. And we're going to make our own table and have a ball. Hope I see you there. I'll keep reminding you on the show as we make our way to the 26th of October. Don't forget, it's the 26th of October. Now, tonight I thought we'd do a little bit of Q&A. We'll bash some questions around. We have a bit of a discussion. I was thinking, what can we talk about? You know, that's the question that comes up on talk shows. Every day, when you wake up in the morning, it's the same question. What am I talking about tonight? Same question, Monday to Friday. And Friday ends and you go, what am I talking about Monday? And today I thought we should ask questions and talk about stuff we don't normally talk about. So I'll start with an easy one. But they're going to get... they're going to get fruitier, right? Alistair Jameson says, don't forget the Proteas are finally doing well at a Cricket World Cup. They play Netherlands tomorrow at 10:30. I don't understand how you can put the Cricket World Cup on at the same time as the Rugby World Cup. Who did that? That is the kind of, and don't get me started because I'm going to go off on a tangent now, and I wanted to show you some material and ask you a question, but I have to go off on this tangent. When I see a decision like that, a Cricket World Cup on at the same time as a Rugby World Cup, the first thing I go is, huh? Duh. Who did that? And then I know the answer. I don't even have to ask. I know the answer. A committee did that. 10 people around a boardroom table did that. That's the only way a decision like that can be made. Strong leaders and visionaries don't make mistakes like that. But 10 people around a table is like idiocy to the power of 10. And that's how you get a World Cup cricket at the same time as World Cup rugby. There's no ways the World Cup, at least not in the subcontinent, maybe it will be bigger, but the rest of the world, forget it. It's going to live in the shadow of the Rugby World Cup. We all know that. And, wouldn't it be terrible if finally our cricketers don't choke? And I'm not a sportscaster, so I can just blurt this stuff out. Our cricketers have been choking. They've been choking like a kid in the 80s that took peppermints from a restaurant bowl. Do you remember that? Do you remember in the 80s, before we got all PC and scared, you'd go out to the restaurant. When I was a kid, we didn't go out to restaurants that often. My parents said, we don't have the money to take you to restaurants. Well, there were about 100 million of us kids in the house. I don't blame them. But back then, we didn't understand. How come we never go to restaurants, Mom? So, all right, we'll take you to Mike's Kitchen on your birthday. And you'd go off to the restaurant. And in the old days, you'd normally get a hide-in or two somewhere in the night because you could smack children back then for doing something wrong. So, a restaurant experience was always excitement and tragedy and trauma and violence and food, like it's supposed to be. And then at the end of the night, my mom and dad would say, as we walked out, don't grab a handful of peppermints. Don't be rude. That's not how we raised you. One peppermint, one peppermint. And there'd be the big bowl of peppermints. They weren't in packets. Nothing was sanitized. It was the old days where the last person who took a peppermint had just gone to the loo and stuck their hands in the bowl of peppermints and grabbed a handful. And the challenge when you went to a restaurant back in the 80s was to try and get as many peppermints out the bowl in your hand as possible so that you got some of the profit back that the restaurant owner was counting on. And as a kid, that was my gig. My gig was, if I can just get 20 peppermints into this hand, I'm good for the night. And so what would happen as we drove home, and my folks always had station wagons or combis because they had so many kids. My parents were breeders. Somebody would, and you can't even do this anymore, right? Back in the bad old days, there were no car seats. I mean, car seats were for fragile children. The rest of us, we stood on the back seats and held onto the headrest. As we cruised down Nigel Road in Springs, two of you got to stand on the back seats and hold on to the headrest. And then someone would lie on the parcel shelf at the back window. They'd lie flat on their back on the parcel shelf. And someone would lie on the seat but backwards and head facing down. And halfway between town and Selcourt, which is probably about a 4-kilometer drive, one of us would choke on a peppermint. It would happen every time. Every single time. But not before some adult in the car said, sit down, or if we have an accident, you'll fly through the window. Now, I don't know whether that's an accurate description. I'm not sure whether it's flying through the window. You're not actually flying. You're moving at great speed, but technically you're not flying. There are no aerodynamics involved. Through the window, I don't know how many times I heard my parents tell me, sit down or you'll fly through the window. And I think, what's the story with parenting back in the 70s and 80s? Did parents even know how to be parents back then? I keep telling my friends I was a free-range child because my parents raised us like farmers raised free-range chickens. We just had to come in at night. But parenting back then must have been kind of simple. You didn't have to worry about car seats. You didn't have to worry about what language you used in front of kids. You didn't. I remember at family gatherings walking past an uncle, and I had an Uncle Benny and an Uncle Derek, and they'd say, Tommy, come here. Have you had your first taste of Carling Black Label yet, boykies? No, Uncle Derek. So yeah, have a sip, eh? And you'd go, geez, that stuff is vile. But I'm a man now. All of 5 years old. That doesn't happen anymore. Kids don't hold on to headrests anymore. Parents don't say, you sit down or you'll fly through the window anymore. You hurt yourself now as a kid, off to the ER. Back then, mercurochrome. Mercurochrome fixed everything, right? Do you remember any of this? I want your comments in the comments section or voice notes on the voice note line. What are your memories of childhood that would never be repeated in 2023? What are your memories of parenting that would never pass for parenting in 2023? Pop some in the comment section down below this video. I'd love to hear what happened in your life. I don't know whether it was just my family. Sometimes I think it was just my family that was mad. But I got a sneaking suspicion that it was more than just us. I think it was everyone. And we drive from town, Springstown, from Mike's Kitchen back to the house, or the golden nugget, or the golden egg. We never went to Oasis, that was too expensive. And then someone would choke on a peppermint. And you'd hear, just after someone had said, sit down or you'll fly through the window, you'd just hear, like that. Now in 2023, you'd probably press some kind of panic button on a remote hanging from the keychain, and a helicopter will arrive and people will put instruments down your kid's throat and suck out the peppermints, and everyone will go, they saved the kid's life. Thank goodness for modern technology and paramedics. Back then, the lifesaver was, you better not choke or you'll get a bloody hiding, man. I told you. You'd get an I told you so. While you're lying there going, someone would say, see, I told you, Thomas, I told you not to lie down, and you see what happens when you lie down and eat peppermints. Do you see now? Do you see? Do you see what happens if you lie and eat peppermints? How many times do we need to tell you this? Last time we went to Mike's Kitchen, it was Cora and Lisa who choked on a peppermint. Now it's you. You kids do not learn. When you get home, you get in a hide-in. Thank you, Billy. I made the mistake of leaving an extra light on here tonight, and that's why the birds have gone mental, and I think I'm going to have to stand up and switch the lights off. Or ask my assistant. I'll ask my imaginary girlfriend, thank you, to switch the lights off. Thank you, imaginary girlfriend, thank you. All right, now the birds should keep quiet. But those were the old days, right? You used to sleep in the back window of the car and hold on to the car seats. Let's see what you got to say. What are your memories? Childhood memories and parenting back in the old day when car seats weren't compulsory. Vanessa Taylor says, I used to sleep in the back window of the car when we went on holiday, which was not often. Yeah, of course, you spent 6 hours on the back parcel shelf. It was such a nice feeling, wasn't it, being warmed by the sun? I loved the back parcel shelf of the car, just under the back window. I loved lying there, especially in winter. It was so nice and warm. We had a neighbor called Auntie Bev. I shouldn't give her full name, otherwise Bev Penny would get upset with me. But Auntie Bev from time to time would pick us up from school when my mom couldn't. And Auntie Bev drove a Passat, was it a Passat station wagon? Do you remember the Passat station wagon? And Auntie Bev was a chain smoker. And she didn't like driving with the windows down. And there'd always be 10 kids in the car. And Auntie Bev would already have sat outside the school for half an hour. She'd already finished half a pack of Camel. And when you got in the car, I mean, we talk about passive smoking today. Come on, you're joking. There's no such thing as passive smoking in 2023. People say there's passive smoking, but there really isn't. I mean, what is passive smoking nowadays? It's like sitting outside in a coffee shop and someone smoking 20 meters away from you, and you go, that's not right, that's passive smoking. I'm getting lung cancer from that man's cigarettes. But back in the day, we'd climb in that car, all 10 of us. And Auntie Bev would say, don't put the windows down. I don't like a draft or something like that. And we'd drive home. And we would probably ingest 5 or 6 milligrams of nicotine in the 800 meters or kilometer it took to get home. We'd smoke more cigarettes just by breathing in Auntie Bev's secondhand cigarette smoke for 5 minutes than most smokers inhale in a lifetime. The bad old days. Wait till your father gets home, says Gillian Watson. Yeah, I think that was common in many houses, and I'm enjoying the conversation. Thanks for putting the comments up here, and keep rolling them in because I'm going to feed off them tonight. I'm also going to throw a couple of questions at you, and you can always leave a voice note or send you can call that number too, by the way. Wait till your father gets home. My friends were petrified of their fathers. Jeez. My friends were petrified of their fathers. Most of my friends, if their mother said, wait till your father gets home, and I'm not sure what that means, wait till your father gets home. Is that an instruction? Sit there and wait till your father gets home. I don't think so. Was it a warning? I'm warning you, wait till your father gets home. And I'm warning you was one word back then. I'm warning you, like that. Wait till your father gets home. It's a warning. I think it was a threat. I think wait till your father gets home was a plain and simple threat, man. Wait till your father gets home. And that meant you're going to get a hiding. In my house, we weren't scared of my dad, you see. My dad was scared of my mom. We were scared of my mom. Everyone was scared of my mom. And if my mom ever tried to say, wait till your father gets home, we'd look at her as if she was speaking some really interesting dialect of Greek. We never waited till my father got home. But I know a lot of people that they were told to wait till the father got home. And I've never understood that. Like, you're the father and you've had a hard day at work. And then you get home, you've got no idea, because there were no cell phones in those days, so you've got no idea what's been going on at home. And you roll in from your 9 to 5, and you're just trying to keep the whole thing going, trying to keep food on the table. And you walk in, and I suppose what you want is, good evening, my love. Here's a cup of coffee for you. But the way to their father gets home crowd, we've got like, give him a hiding, please. He broke a window at school today. I had the principal called. And then, just after you got home, and you want to sit down and watch Dallas, you'd have to go dispense discipline. Come here. All right, go to your room and think about what you've done. I was sent to my room a lot of times. But I never thought about what I'd done. I used to think about how terrible my parents were. I never thought about how bad I was. What kid thinks about how bad? What kid on this planet goes to their room and thinks about what I've done wrong? Forget it. Kids go to their rooms and think, I wish I had Bruno Bonaretti's parents. Yeah. Robert says kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. Those are the old days, right? Kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. My mom would get her friends around for afternoon Skinner sessions, and they'd talk. They'd say things like, and I only know this because I was more interested in the mother's conversations than kids my own age. When I was 10 years old, I just thought my contemporaries had nothing to say. They'd be like, "Did you see the Mickey Mouse and new Mickey Mouse cartoon and the Richie Rich new comics come out?" And I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm going to do a leopard crawl down the passage so that they can't see me, the moms. And I'm going to hide behind the couch, between the curtain and the couch. And I'm going to listen to their conversations. That's how I became educated. That's how I became an adult by 11. I listened to mom's conversations. And, sometimes it was, oh, have you seen that new milk tart recipe, Val? Oh, really? Where did you find it? No, it's in the You magazine. I didn't get it this week. Don't worry, I'll drop a copy off tomorrow. And I'd be like, okay, get to the good stuff, get to the good stuff, get to the good stuff, get to the good stuff. And then it'd be like, have you heard about Moira? I said, what? What's happened? Well, her husband, Phil, is having an affair with the bus conductor's daughter. Really? How do you know? Well, Janet told me when I was at aerobics the other day. She said she spotted them at the public swimming bath together. And they were doing inappropriate things in the deep end. What? Does Phyllis know? I'm not sure. And I'd listen to this. And I'd be, the most interesting people in the world are housewives. The most interesting people in the world are moms. They had reality shows going back then before there were even reality shows. It was called Real Life. I loved the conversations. I knew what a mammogram was before I was 12. I knew what slimming tablets they were on. I knew about the problems in all the marriages in Springs. I knew what they were earning. I knew everything. Kids know everything. But at some point I'd get caught. And that old line with that old chestnut would come up, right? Kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. Or else, Sonny. Robert's dad's words. My mom would say, this is an adult conversation, not for children. Go out and play. And how do you explain to 30-year-old women as a 10-year-old that you find them more interesting than the kids outside? And I had to go play outside, but boy, would I do the leopard crawl down the passage every time I could to listen to what the women had to say. Barry Bowditch says, at Guy Fawkes, we would put skyrockets on a brick at night and wait for the first car to come along. Whoosh. Yep. Alistair says we'd sit on the fold-down armrest watching movies at the drive-in. We called it the piggy seat. I don't know if anyone else called it the piggy seat, but you'd fight over that piggy seat, the fold-down armrest. I want to sit on the piggy seat, and then off you go to the drive-in. That's another thing that never ended well in my family. I don't know. Give me some drive-in memories, please. Pop them in the comment section down below. We'd go off to the drive-in, off to the Springs drive-in. And we'd get there, and you know they used to show those little bits and pieces before the main feature. And you go off into that little house or whatever they had there, and popcorn and Coca-Cola and milkshakes and candy floss and stuff like that, and get back in the car. There'd always be a fight in the back seat. Someone would cry, someone would get hit. And then the movie would start. It would be a movie like The Jazz Singer or The Pink Panther. Dun-dun, dun-dun. And you'd barely get through the credits in my house and someone would vomit. One of the children would vomit, and normally strawberry milkshake all over the place. And then my parents would have a cadenza and, look what's happened now. See what you've done. You've ruined the whole night. And I'd be sitting in the back going, listen, I don't mind. I want to watch the movie. Just clean up the pink vomit and let's just get back to the show. But my folks would say, we're going home. And we never watched the full movie at the Springs Drive-In because I had a sibling that would just vomit up milkshake whenever we went to the drive-in. That's how it would work. Patsy Walker Belford says Chris stood on the back of his dad's bucky and his dad braked suddenly. Christopher bit right through his tongue, blood pouring everywhere. He was bawling his eyes out, couldn't do anything with the tongue, so Mrs. Belford put ice on it when they got home, and he never stood on the back of the bucky again. See? You never went off to Sands Clinic in those days. You just put some ice on the bit of tongue that was left. Wendy Mechanic wants to know who the mystery girl is. We want to meet her tonight. You see, Wendy, this is where I wish I could control other human beings. And I've learned that I can't. If I could control other human beings, I just press a button on my remote. Wouldn't it be nice if you just had a remote control for people? I think that would be spectacular. I think when Elon Musk gets his Neuralink thing going, he should add a remote control so that you could remote control people. You could turn the volume down on them, mute them, change the channel if you didn't like what they were saying, just get them to move on to something else. Or in my case, press a button and make the mystery girl come and sit on the couch next to me. But I've worked out that you can't control people. So I can't make her sit on the couch next to me. I mean, I could ask her on your behalf, Wendy, to come and sit on the couch and show her face, and perhaps she would. But if I had to bet, and I'm not a gambling man, but if I had to bet, I think the odds are that I don't think there's any chance that she would actually come and sit down on the couch next to me. Not right now, and I wouldn't blame her, actually. But perhaps someday she will. What else have you got to say? You know, I rely on you. I don't know if I've told you this yet, but this talk show and all my talk shows have always relied on your participation, your comments, your funny jokes, your observations, anecdotes, stuff like that, to make the show work. So if you don't write anything in the comment section down below this video, I basically don't have a show. And it's not like I'm trying to put pressure on you. I'm not trying to twist your arm or anything or use psychological tic-tacs. But, yeah. You know, if you don't have interesting comments, then this show will tank, basically. It's your responsibility. Cheryl says, if it's not bleeding, you will live. Amen. Alistair says, my brother and I were sent to our room by my mother with that line, wait till your dad gets home, at around 2 p.m. Dad would get home after 6. He walked in, selected a leather belt. That's harsh, eh? But I can't, why am I smiling when I read this? Is there something wrong with me? Dad walked in, selected a leather belt in our cupboard, and proceeded to beat us with 6 each. 6 of the best. Another line that doesn't make sense. Best of what? You know? 6 of the best. Yeah, I know that. Most of my friends, they were petrified. They spent 4 or 5 hours in a cold sweat waiting for Dad to get home and select the belt. Joel says, I used to send my son to my son to my room. All his toys were in his room, so he'd just go and play. Yeah, that's what happens. Remember midnight shows at the drive-in? We only saw the first movie, says Aubrey. Oh, really, Aubrey? I think as an adult, I went to the drive-in. I probably took 2 people to the drive-in. One was my first girlfriend, proper girlfriend, and I'm not going to say, and she'll deny it. I know she'll deny it. She'll deny it because she's a big star now, and who's Tom? She'll deny it, and I could be lying, and I could be making it up just for some, publicity or to make myself look bigger, but Charlize Theron looked cute on the back of that Bucky. Barry, we used to get in the boot of Dad's car to save money at the drive-in. Really? Are you serious? You get into the boot, what? Would this be all the way from the house, or would this be from around the corner, and then pack the kids in the boot to save money or get into a restricted show or something? I think parents today would be horrified by our conversation. I really, really do. I think modern day parents would be like, these people are evil. They should all be sent off to Alcatraz. Right, Barry the Bowditches are driving to the drive-in. And Mr. Bowditch says, right kids, we're almost at the drive-in now, and it's time for you to get in the boot. Yes, Dad. Stop the car, and all the kids obediently jump into the boot. You probably had to close it yourself. And then off you go, into the drive-in, in the boot. And that would be normal. There'd be nothing wrong with that. put the kids in the boot. That's where they belong. Cheryl says, whenever a 007 movie came out, my dad would take my mom and I to drive-in. Only time we went, and we'd buy a bucket of KFC. Thank you for bringing back this memory. It's my pleasure, Cheryl. Bring back drive-ins. Xavier Arnold, so nice to see you on board. Xavier says, how's it going, Tom? Childhood in South Africa, Cape Town over 40 years ago was great. We'd be riding bicycles at all hours. Oh, can I stop for just a second? Because that triggered me. Riding bicycles. I live in Veltevreden Park in Johannesburg. I've lived in Morningside in Johannesburg. I've lived in Rivonia. I've lived in Douglasdale. I've lived all over Joburg. And for at least 15, 20 years, I've never seen a kid riding a bicycle in any one of these suburbs or have a bicycle gang. We used to have bicycle gangs. Ours was called the Spider Gang. And kids don't ride bicycles anymore, not in the streets. But yesterday, I was in Eersterust, just outside of Pretoria side. And I saw two things in Eersterust. One I've never seen before, and one brought back memories. So the first thing I saw when we pulled into Eersterust yesterday, a bicycle gang came round the corner, like a proper bicycle gang. 10-year-olds on bicycles, and 10 of them. And you can see they're a gang. They look like little gangsters. And the bicycle gang came round the corner, all 10. And I went, wow, a bicycle gang. I have not seen a bicycle gang for 30 years. Bicycle gangs still exist in this country, at least in Eersterust. There are bicycle gangs, kids on bicycles. Fantastic. I loved it. I thought, I'm moving to Eersterust. I will live in Eersterust just to sit on my front stoep and watch the kids drive past in their bicycle gang. Like, I want to give 2 thumbs up, props and accolades and whatever awards we can give to Eersterust, that they've managed to keep bicycle gangs alive. And the other thing in Eersterust that you don't see anywhere else, well, I'm assuming anywhere else, but you do not, you see, they've got tuk-tuks. And not these tuk-tuks you see in Sandton with all the branding on, and there are 1 or 2 of them. There are literally hundreds of these things. Blue ones, red ones, yellow ones, green ones, pink ones, white ones, black ones. And they're ferrying all the old people and the people who don't have cars, they want to go to the shops. They're in the back of tuk-tuks. It looks like Thailand. I was like, Eersterust has got it going on, man. Simple solutions to simple problems. And bicycle gangs. All right, let's continue with Xavier's message. We'd be riding bicycles at all hours, soccer and cricket in the streets. And when the street lights came on, it was home time. Walking to the shops and or school was safe. Chappies were always changed at the local shop. Pinball and Asteroid and Pac-Man games. Drive-ins were the best burgers in the world. And I don't think I actually ever watched a whole movie, often leaving with the speaker attached to the window. I love that. I love that. How many times did your parents drive off with the speaker attached to the window? Xavier, the motocross dad. Never mind the mystery girl. I want to see Lyle or Bob, says Robert. Bob is the, did we name the Venus flytrap Bob? And Lyle's the donkey. He's an imaginary donkey. How about the wooden spoon or hairbrush, says Gillian Watson. Yeah, the wooden spoon. That was a big one. You knew you'd been disciplined when the wooden spoon snapped on your ass. And only then would a mother feel some guilt. Only then. If she hit you hard enough with a wooden spoon that it broke, then there would be guilt for about 5 seconds, and then it'd be another hiding for breaking the wooden spoon. My mom, my little brother, Nick, he might be watching. You know, he joins us most nights. Nick walked up to my mom. She was ironing in the kitchen one day. And he was about 4 or 5 years old, and he looked up and he went, and I don't think I can say the whole thing. I've always wanted to go to a poetry reading. You know, the poetry readings. I've got a very special person in my life who is a poet. And I've been to some of these poetry readings. Have you ever been to a poetry reading? They're really cool. People at poetry readings don't applaud. They don't go, bravo, encore. They go, and I can't click my fingers properly, but you're just going to have to imagine. They go, that's the applause at a poetry reading, right? That means that was a good poem. If it's a bad poem, it's like, then you know you bombed. If you go to a poetry reading and the whole audience just goes, get out of poetry. And poets at poetry readings, they're fascinating people. Poets fascinate me. I love poets. I love poets, songwriters, anybody who plays with words obviously gets my attention. But poets, I love it. They've got a style. You know, poetry nowadays I think poetry in the old days was like, the moon is a balloon which rises over the Indian Ocean in your eyes, over sunny skies at night. Now it's like, I feed off the anger that my mother fed me along with my Pro-Nutro and my sugar. That's poetry. How did we get onto poetry nights? I got no idea. The pressure, Mr. London, to produce comments. Now I'm singing under pressure. Yeah, of course. This is not a one-way street, this show. It takes two of us to make it work. Wendy wants to know, yes, how about the garden straw broom hitting you in the butt whilst running away? Yeah. And in those days, you didn't have to be the parent to discipline the child. You could be the proxy. Someone could say, won't you give my child a hiding? Yeah, sure. Thanks, Put. Well done. Those were the good old days, says Gaynor. And Zuleika Dockrat's on board. Hey, Zuleika, good to have you on board. Nice to see you. That's what makes it the good old days. Alistair says you have to go to Easter River in Cape Town to see gangs, brew. I have seen gangs. I've seen the best and worst of everything in this world. I really have. My mother broke many wooden spoons. And my brother is on board. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you, right? So my mom, so I've always wanted to go to a poetry reading and recreate the poem that my brother told my mother that got him the mustard treatment. I want to go. So my brother walked up to my mom while she was ironing, and he said, Mom. And she said, yes, my boy. And he went, yum, yum, bubblegum. And then the next part, I can't read the whole I can't say the whole sentence, but it goes, stick your finger, and then something that rhymes with bubblegum. And my mother looked at him and went, what? Say that again. And he said, yum, yum, bubblegum, stick your finger. And do you remember those old mustard tubs, the yellow bottle things with the nozzle? She stuck that thing in Nick's mouth, and then she squeezed the bottle as hard as she could. She had his head under her arm like that, and she stuck that bottle, and she gave it a proper squeeze, and 2 streams of yellow mustard came shooting out of Nick's nose like a psychedelic Andy Warhol fountain. And Nick never ate anything yellow for the next 20 years. I've always wanted to go to a poetry reading and stand up there. You know, everyone before me will be like, everyone before me will be like, I drown on the words that you say to me when you wake in the morning, when you pray for me. And I just want to go up and deadpan at one of these poetry readings, and I want to go, this poem's called Yum Yum. Yum, yum. Bubblegum. Stick your finger and then wait for everyone to go because I'll get bombed. Carla says you'll also get soap in the mouth if you use bad words. Yeah, that was, I believe in that. I actually do think that if kids use bad words, the easiest way to clean their mouth is with soap. Patsy said, my girls got a clap across their head when they didn't sit when I was doing their hair. Not a hard clap, but just enough so they knew that not to move an inch. Exactly. See, I said 20 years for Nick to eat anything yellow. It actually took him 25 years to eat anything yellow. Yellow mellow, or mellow yellow, or what was it? Yellow mellow. Oh, man. Robert says, my mom tried the mustard treatment once. Turns out I enjoyed it. Does that make you a sadist or a masochist? I can never work out the difference between the two. I can never work out, like if someone says, oh, you're a masochist, I can never work out if you like pain or give. I just can't work it out. Alistair says, Aunt Mom's amazing. They can reach out and smack you before you realize it was coming. And that's how life was. I can't believe I've been doing a monologue, a soliloquy. I call it a soliloquy. I've had people call it droning on. If you're still here 51 minutes after I started droning on, thank you. I had a whole lot of questions I was going to ask you tonight, but seeing as we've had so much fun talking about discipline in the old days, I think we'll leave it till tomorrow night or sometime during the week. If you just joined us, don't forget, 26th of October, come and join the Tom London table at Traders, Times Square Casino. Gar Taylor performing live, 26th of October. I'll be there at about 7 p.m. We're going to put a table together. If you'd like to come and join the table, tickets are 150 Rand per person. And if you'd like to come and join the table, just send me an email, pop it off to thetomlondonshow@gmail.com. thetomlondonshow@gmail.com. I'll answer you. We'll get the ball rolling. We'll do the financial transaction. And I will see you on the 26th at Traders, where you will join me and our friends at the Tom London Show table at Traders, Times Square, Menlyn Park. I wanted to show you some stuff that came in. Can I show you quickly? This is what people have been sending me over the weekends. Let's see, what do we got here? Here's Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith is our 10-year-old ambassador on the show. Ambassador Smith, we're going to call him. Ambassador Smith representing South Africa in the United Kingdom, and that's Charlie Smith with one of his model airplanes. And Charlie Smith is a very devoted and amazing viewer of the show. One day we are going to fly over to the UK and we're going to go and knock on the Smith's door, and we're going to go sit and do the show from the Smith's house. What do you think? One of these fine days we go over to the UK and we do the Tom London Show from the Smith's house with Charlie Smith sitting on the couch next to me. I'd like that. Would you, Charlie? And would you, as you watch the show, would you like to see what's going on in the Smith's house? We'll go into his mom and dad's room and open the drawers next to the bed and see what's in there. And then we'll go into the cupboard and we'll go past all the obvious stuff and go right at the back and see what's there at the Smith's house. What else have we got? Oh, this was sent to me, and I quite like this. And thank you for sending things on the WhatsApp line, and you can always send voice notes. I haven't even checked for voice notes tonight. I've just been droning on. This might have been Brendan who sent this. I can't remember. But Brendan, I think it was Brendan who said, this is the kind of Coke supply you need, Tom, on the show. Amen. Wouldn't that be cool if that rocked up at the house? Yeah, that's what we need. Eh? Parked right outside my front door with someone serving the Coke. I'd like that. People think I'm mad. They think Coca-Cola are never going to sponsor the show. People keep telling me, right, that, Tom, do you really think Coca-Cola will sponsor your show? And I'm like, yeah, when we get to about 100,000 viewers. Maybe 10,000. It's not that far to go. Since we started the show, we've had about 1,000 unique viewers watching, so that's not bad. I think at about 10,000, Coke might start supplying me some Coca-Cola. But more than that, give me bucks. I'm in this for the money, baby. And the Coke. I ruined my life on Coke. That's what they say. I don't believe it. I did not believe it. But I'm thinking a Coke van like that would be cool. I'd also like to tell you that, and like to thank you. If you join me live, you are the content creators on the show. You are my partners. You are my co-hosts. So if you're watching the show post-live, you pressed play after the broadcast ended, you can always join us at 9 o'clock, Monday to Fridays, and be part of the hip crowd, the in crowd, the cool crowd, the people who join and make an appointment with me at 9 p.m. Central Africa time. You could join us at 9 o'clock and participate and be a co-creator, a content creator on the show. And that's what you are as you watch the show live. So thank you for playing your part tonight. It's been a fun night for me after a long blue Monday. You have lifted my spirits, and I want to thank you for that. I hope in return I've lifted yours. And if you watch the show post-live, which surprisingly is where most of our views come from, thank you. I really, really do mean it. Thanks for pressing the play button and watching afterwards. And I do both. I'm on the show, so I get to experience it live. But then afterwards, I crit it. We used to call it a post-mortem in radio. And I do a post-mortem on the show after every show, and I put it on the television, and I watch it like a TV show. And about 4 or 5 shows in, I was like, wow, I don't want to blow my own horn because I'm hypercritical. I really am hypercritical. I pick out every little breath, everything I've done wrong, anything that I think I could have done better. It's all part of the post-mortem process. But a couple of days back, I was watching the show on TV, post-live, wasn't live, obviously. I was watching myself. And I was like, wow, you know what? This show works really well on a television screen. So consider that and think about streaming it to the TV screen if you want. It makes for a really good experience. I'll just give you a quick clip of what it looks like. I know I've shown this before, but I'll keep doing it ad nauseum until you start casting the show on your television screen. So that's it. That's what it looks like on a TV screen. And then you can have your phone in your hand and you can keep rolling with the comments. And it just makes the whole experience so much better. So yeah, if you don't know and you've got a smart TV, you can watch the show on your television like a TV show. So it can be a cell phone show, a tablet show, a computer show, or a TV show. And that's how it works. Auntie Bev. Now remember earlier on I told you about Auntie Bev, and I said I mustn't say Auntie Bev Penny, otherwise she'll get upset with me. Auntie Bev has just arrived. And I bet someone in Springs called Auntie Bev and told her you've been spoken about on the show. Auntie Bev. I love Auntie Bev. Love you, Auntie Bev. Can I ask you to do something for me? We used to do this on morning shows back in the day when I was doing DDH. We used to wish each other well. We'd wish each other a good day. And I'm wondering whether we could we do that? Could we just spend 2 minutes doing what doesn't happen anymore and actually just wish each other a good night? So I'll just wait for you to start popping comments in the comment section. And let's just wish each other a good night. And I think the combined energy of our wishes will actually make a difference, right? I think wishing each other a good night will actually make a difference. So pop your good night wishes in the comment section down below. I'll put them up on the screen as they come in. And if they don't come in, I won't pop anything on the screen and I'll go. But I would like you, and I'd like to encourage you, because the mission of the show is to spread love around the world. That's my big mission. I got 2 missions. Get Coca-Cola to sponsor the show so I can finally buy my Ferrari. And number 2, write a book called The Monk Who Bought His Ferrari. And number 3, spread love and kindness all around the globe. And you helping me do that. So here come the wishes. And by the way, you can make a fart mountain if you want by pressing the heart button a couple of times. And get that heart fountain going on the screen. And send love right through our online community on the Tom London Show. And here come the wishes. First one, Alistair Jameson, sleep well, Cheryl Verhoen. Oh, really? Oh, really? You actually chose someone to send your wish to, Alistair? Oh, that's interesting. We should explore that. Robert Naismith says, good night, all. Love you. Thanks, Rob. Tammy Singh says, I wish you and everyone a good night. Zuleika Docrat says, good night, sleep tight. Hope the bed bugs don't bite. If they do, give them a chew. Alistair Jameson says, good night, Wendy. Wendy says, have a really good night, all. Cheryl says, I truly wish everyone a good night. Henrietta Cortez says, have a lovely evening and sleep well, all. Tammy Singh says, love and light to everyone. Gaynor Schulenberg says, good night, Tom and everybody. Kerry Warren, hey, Kerry. Kerry says, good night. Aubrey Maria says, may all listening to Tom now have a marvelous evening until tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Thank you, Aubrey. Cheryl says, ditto. Alistair. Carla says, great show, Tom. Night all. Have a super day tomorrow. Hugs. Wendy Mechanic says, night, Alistair. Gillian Watson says, count your blessings. Amen. Take care and stay safe. Tammy Singh sends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hearts. And Barry Bowdesh says, don't let your eyeball. All right, we'll let a couple more climb in and wish in the comment section down below as we say goodnight on this Monday, the 16th of October. Caroline, the love of my life, wishes me a wonderful day every morning, sends me encouraging messages during the day and beautiful good night wishes. You are blessed, Caroline. Hold on to that love of your life. That person is a keeper. And that's where I leave you for the evening. Thank you to everybody who hits the like button on this post, because it kind of, I don't know what, I think when you hit the like button on the show and you comment on the show, like somewhere in Mark Zuckerberg's house, there's a faint beep on a heartbeat monitor and it says, Tom London's alive. The show is going. It really does help us when you comment, and it really does help us when you hit the like button. So I don't want to ask you to hit the like button. I know every online show does that. Every online show, somebody at some point says, please hit the like button, and please hit the share button, and please do this, and please do that. And I just don't want to beg you. So I'm not asking you to hit the like button. And I don't even expect you to hit the like button. And nothing magical in your life is going to happen if you hit the like button. It's not going to change anything in your existence. But I do want to say thank you to the people who do hit the like button. And I do want to say thank you to the people who do hit the heart button, the people who hit the ha-ha button, and the people who share the post. I want to salute you, and I want to bless you, and I want to thank you. You are the reason the algorithm even allows us to go further than a couple of people. So thank you very much if you're one of those people who hits the heart and love button and ha-ha button. As long as you don't hit the sad or the angry face button. I don't like those ones. I hope you have a sleep so deep tonight. I hope you have a sleep so deep tonight, it's like a coma. I hope you have dreams so sweet that you wake up in the morning thinking something's wrong with you. And I hope when you go through your day tomorrow that you see rainbows and unicorns farting all over the horizon. And I hope good luck comes to you, and I hope your health is good, and I hope you got some money in your pocket, and I hope you got some food in your stomach. And most of all, I hope you got some love in your heart. And even most of all, I hope you join me tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for another Tom London show. And one more good night, seeing that Robert is on the money with this one. We haven't heard from Lyle the donkey, so... Okay, Rob, here's your moment. You know it's an imaginary donkey, but we can all pretend there's a donkey standing right there, right? Lyle! That's it, Lyle. What are you saying, Lyle? I can speak donkey. Hey, donkey. I can speak donkey. What are you saying, Lyle? Lyle's saying, I miss you already.